What's up, y'all? I'm here with a PSA. I know. I'm annoying. I know. Trust me, I know myself. But I care, right? So, the PSA is, could we please raise our kids to be homeowners and not our neighbors? And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Because it's something that I'm seeing, and it's irking the fuck out of me. And it hits close to home, and I can't stand that. And I wanted to say this, right? I'm starting to notice a lot of people that, and this is my personal opinion, are kind of like giving up on their children based on their surroundings more than anything else. I'm gonna tell you what I mean, right? I'm an 82 baby. I grew up in the South Bronx. I was rebellious in my own ways, so I had sex young. I smoked weed young. I did a lot of stuff young. As did many of my generation, right? I grew up in what most people say is the hood, ghetto, whatever you want to call it. It's true, but, okay, fine. My grandma raised me. Our grandparents' generation, it's a different time period. There was no laws against what you can and couldn't do to your children. So that was the spare the rod, spoil the child generation. That doesn't really work. If you got disciplined physically, did it work? Or did you not do whatever the fuck you want to do anyway? Did whatever you want to do anyway, right? You just learn how to hide it. Like, I hid a lot of stuff that I did. Or I tried to. I hid most of the shit that I did. A lot of the stuff that I got caught up with was like 20% of the bad shit that I did. I got away with a lot of other shit. But I hid it because I knew I was going to get in trouble. See, because here's the thing. Right? Our grandparents' generation was wrong for the spare the rod, spoil the child. It doesn't work. But that was their way of saying, no. You too young. Get your ass back in this house. You're not doing what, And it wasn't to keep us from doing whatever we wanted. It's because of the world that we live in. I tell my kids all the time, it's not that I don't trust you, I don't trust adults. Look at what adults are doing. They are RAPE teenagers. How many times in the news have we seen adult males dragging 13-year-old little girls into an alleyway? People driving drunk. It's like so many things in the world that as you get older and you become a parent, you start realizing not everything was meant to KILL our fun. It wasn't that. It was the RAPIST out in this world. It was all the bad people in this world. You see what's going on. That little girl that got popped, 11 years old. The other day, 4 grown men, 4 adult males, JUMP'd a 13-year-old girl for her phone. And then after they yanked her phone, they BEAT her to the floor. Adult males did that to a 13-year-old little girl. You understand what I'm saying? Here's the thing. We now have Wi-Fi, so we are now seeing more stuff. It's not that our generation was better off. I'm an 80s baby. You're not going to look me in my face and tell me that the South Bronx was safer back then. It was not. It's just there was no cell phones for our parents to check up on in on us. So imagine the heart attacks they was having when you was 15 minutes too late coming home from school. At least we got cell phones now. You feel me? Our parents used to have to just sit there and hope nothing happened to us. Our parents just used to sit there and just hope nothing happened to us. My battery's going down. It's dying. That's why they did a lot of things, because they knew what was out there in the world. And for anybody who's like, that's the mentality of thinking of the worst. But here's T. Depending on where you grow up, you do think the worst. If you live in the South Bronx, if you live in Beverly-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, if you live in certain places in the world, if you live in Compton, do you feel as comfortable allowing your child to go outside as someone in the burbs? No, because people in the burbs ain't worried about drive-bys. See what I'm saying? We have to worry about certain things. It's not about trying to keep you in the house because you be damned if you have a life. It's trying to keep you in the house because you want them to live till tomorrow. Because look at our neighborhoods. Look at our circumstances. You understand what I'm saying? Now, our grandparents, and it was wrong, but that was their way of trying to hold on, right? Our parents, some of us followed in suit. some didn't. My father's not a SPEANKER type of person. He don't even cuss. He's a born again Christian. He's like a goody two shoes type of person. My stepmom is more of a disciplinary. My grandmother was more of a disciplinary. He's not, you know what I'm saying? Some parents followed that way, some didn't. But no matter what, it's always trying to hold on to you to make sure you make it alive in the circumstances in the neighborhood that you live in. Also to see you progress in life. There is not a welfare recipient alive that's going to look you in your eyes and tell you to fuck having a career, go on welfare. Are you stupid? We don't get to vacation the way that other people get to vacation. We got to do everything on a budget because we are on a budget. There is a ginormous difference between somebody on welfare taking their tax money and taking a quick vacation to Florida and somebody making $100,000 a year. They're not staying at a cheapy choppy hotel. They're staying in the resort because they can afford it. Their experience is completely different. So you are, I don't know what your mindset is that you as a welfare recipient or somebody who lives below the poverty line, that you would instill that in other people. You have got to be insane. I've been instilling in my daughter over and over and over and over and over again. The block is not going to go nowhere. I know CRACK heads that I've known them since I was a little girl, and the ones that are still alive are still sitting in the same park bench. I've been seeing them for over 30 years. They're still sitting and drinking in front of the liquor store, same way. I done told my daughters to make it out of the circumstances they in. Do not be like us. Why would you want to be like us? You make it in life. You go to France, come back, the block and the people that are sitting there is still gonna be there. You go to Jamaica, come back, they still gonna be there. Anybody who's not trying to move forward and progress more still gonna be stagnant. So why in the fuck would you want to be like us? Why would you ever want to be like us? Be better, do better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to see, and mostly a lot more in my generation, listen, spare the rod, spoil the child don't work. So we got to try different things, right? Counseling, punishing for real, taking the Kindles and the iPhone, blah, 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 this, that, and that way. But that you know, not the way they did it, but that we try to do something. And I say this because I'm noticing people my generation, your 9-year-old son curses out the teacher, acts unruly in school, and your response is, why y'all calling me? Y'all don't know how to do y'all jobs? Instead of disciplining your 9-year-old. But this same 9-year-old goes to the store. You tell him he could have $1. He spends $3. You're expecting $6 back. All you got back was $3. Now you going to get the BELT. And you going to ask over bringing you the wrong change. But you won't discipline him for disrespecting his teacher. You are socially accepting that because you live in a certain area that your 14-year-old is going to do it anyway. So I'm seeing a lot of people my generation allowing their 13 and 14-year-old daughters to dress a certain way. I know we dressed that way too. We did. Let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of us gave it up at a young age to men that was too much older than us to do so. Not all of y'all, but some of us, and I'm guilty of that. 16-year-old, 17-year-old getting dicked down by a dude damn near 30 years old. At the time, we thought we knew what we was doing. Looking back, we know how young we was and how wrong it was. And now we're looking at our daughters. And I'm starting to see a lot of women, instead of trying to shift it around, trying to be like, oh, well, you know, women give it up for free and they do this for free and you might as well charge them. I agree to an extent, but who we talking to? 22 and 23-year-olds? And not that that's okay. I'm not saying, listen, that's a totally different conversation. I'm not suggesting that we do that either. But what I'm saying is, this is a conversation you have with your homie. It's a conversation you have with somebody over 21. You're raising your 14-year-old that way. She might just fuck up the one man that was meant to be your son-in-law for the next 40 years because she was too busy tricking off of X, Y, and Z and not giving the right man her time and attention. Equally, your sons, okay, can be lawyers, they can be doctors, they can be CEOs. They don't have to automatically be DRUG dealers because that's your area. No, they don't. No, they don't. Colin Powell didn't turn out that way. Ain't he from the projects? I got like 3 friends out of everybody my age that we all grew up together or all went to school together that went to college. And even though we all okay and we eat and we have certain things in life and we can get to vacation, real talk, they do live better than us. They did shit the right way, bro. And so they're making more money. They have careers where we have jobs. They have careers where we have jobs, bro. It's a difference. It's a big difference. My cousin's married to a woman who her and her 4 sisters grew up in Edenwald projects. Dad was a cab driver. Mom was a stay-at-home wife. Immigrated from DR. Didn't really have nothing in life. 4 out of 5 are homeowners. We cut from the same cloth. And my cousin's wife, I love her so much. She's always telling me, Jigga, don't give up on yourself, Jigga. You could go back to school, Jigga. I'm 40 and she still don't let me go. I love her so much for that. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'm watching a lot of people just chalk up their 14 and 15-year-old doing the shit that they doing because of the block that they're in or because of a certain circumstance. Again, our parents and grandparents may have been wrong for all of this. But they wasn't wrong for being like this when you were still 14 or 15. Look at the outcome of some of us. Let's be real. A lot of us are not homeowners. We don't own shit. I know inflation, the signs of the times, but there's people our age that do because of the careers that they have. There's a difference. Circumstances are different when you're 15. That's more or less your parenting and the neighborhood that you're in. At 40, that's a choice. Now you choosing to be that way. You don't want to move forward. And now what's worse is you're raising your kids with that mentality of because we are where we are, who we are, we're from where we're from, or because of this, that. It's like 50 million excuses to just, in my opinion, give up. We live in this type of neighborhood, so my son is automatically, bro, your son could still be a lawyer, he could be the first doctor in the family. Why not? Who told you what the fuck your son is supposed to be? The block? If the block told you who your son is supposed to be, you're not parenting. You've given up on parenting. You're allowing the streets to parent your children. I might not have turned out to be what I'm supposed to be, but I'll be damned if I allow my daughters to be me. I want them to be so much more better, to have so much more. And I feel like I'm starting to see a lot of people, especially my generation, kind of like chalk it up to like, well, they gonna do it anyway. Nah, yo, be like this on them. Be like this on them. Don't fucking give up on them, bro. If I offended you, I didn't mean to. I'm just saying, look. It's just, I'm seeing it too much. With the girls thing, my daughter's 21. There's only 2 men she's seen me with. The father of her 2 younger sisters and my ex. I broke up with her father when she was 2. You think I only been with 2 men in 19 years? You simple as fuck if you think I've only been with 2 men in 19 years. She's not seen only but 2 men. That don't mean I'm the only 2 I've been with. But those are the only 2 she's ever seen. Just like my daughters know that WAP and Montero and everything else exists and Twerkulator, but they don't hear it in their household. I can't control the streets, but I can control my parenting. And I feel like I'm seeing a lot of people, and I know there's a lot of different struggles, and every household is different, and so many single moms that don't, like, I'm very lucky I have a huge family that holds me down. You know, I ain't never really been a struggling single mom. I've been a single mom and had struggle moments, but when I say not struggling single mom, I always have a babysitter. I always have a babysitter. I'm not one of the moms that has to worry about being able to move because I have loved ones who hold my kids down for me, who understand that I'm a single mom and will help me. Not everybody has that. So I understand circumstances, and I understand that, and I'm not blaming parents for their kids' action. I don't hold my grandmother accountable for the bad bitch in me. My grandmother is responsible for the Christian in me. My grandmother's responsible for the woman who understands to respect an elderly person. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't care how old you are. Don't be disrespecting somebody's Mima or Pop-Pop. Yo, the 70-year-old, have some fucking respect. I can't stand shit like that. Certain things irk me. Where's your fucking... Who raised you, bro? Anyway, you know, the good in me, that came from her. That was her influence. The streets is the bad in me. And then I got free will, so I made the wrong decisions. That ain't got nothing to do with her. But I'm starting to see a lot of women walking around half naked with their 14-year-old daughters half naked with them, and they don't have a problem with that. I got a problem with you not having a problem with your 14-year-old walking around a certain type of way, because she does not have the mental capacity to deal with a 22-year-old who's going to feast on her like a fucking like a free buffet. What does it matter if he has a disease? Now she got one. You knocked her up, left her for dead. Now her life is altered completely. So yes, I have a problem. I have a problem with men who are raising their sons to be doughboys. Because I have friends who did not see 25. I have 2 friends who didn't see 21. I have a third of the guys I grew up with are DOA, bro. They're gone. I watched their mothers scream over their DOA bodies as they live. Do you know how horrendous it is to hear a mother scream over her dead son? Do you understand how horrible that shit is? I've heard that. I've seen that. I've seen men on my hood who have done prison bids, who put their hoodies over their heads so nobody see them cry from seeing a woman. Not my son! I know! Not my son! Not my son! Do you understand how painful? Have you ever heard the screeches of a mother over a DOA son? I have. It's horrible, bro. It don't leave you. How about the kids they leave behind? I have 2 friends who had children that were so young when they DOA'd. I know their mother and father more than they do. That's sad, bro. Why the fuck would you want to raise your son to be like that? I'm starting to see that a lot, and we need to do better. We need to stop chalking it up to the streets. No, as long as they still in your house, try, bro. Anyway, I just felt like saying that because I'm seeing that a lot, and it's really irking the fuck out of me. We have got to do better. If I offended you, I'm sorry. Maybe I offended you because maybe you see a little bit of yourself in the conversation. I'm sorry. That's not on me. But let me get off because I gotta go.